Page 34. Cuckoo, Cheating by Nature, by Nick Davies, 2015. Chapter 2. How the Cuckoo lays her egg. 2.4. The cuckoo restarts nests. Cuckoo A returned again in 1921, and in this her fourth season, chance was triumphant at last. He now knew the days the female would lay, every other day, could predict which nest she was likely to choose, one where the pipits were still laying, could limit the cuckoo's choice, by farming pipit clutches so there was just one suitable nest available that day, and knew the time she would lay, late afternoon. So by placing hides close to the predicted host nest he was able to watch the cuckoo lay from just a few meters away. This is what he saw. As soon as she landed by the nest, the female removed a host egg. Then, holding this in her bill, she sat briefly on the nest to lay her own. She then backed off and flew away, carrying the host egg. On landing on a nearby perch, she then swallowed the host egg whole. These observations solved two puzzles at once. The female laid her egg directly in the nest, just like other birds do. And the egg that previous observers had seen the female carry in her bill was a host egg, not the cuckoo's egg. The beakers and regurgitators had got it wrong. We now know that direct laying is the normal procedure for common cuckoos with all their hosts. For those with domed nests, like wrens, the female simply clings to the nest, places her belly against the nest hole, and squirts the egg in. It was during this fourth season that Edward Hawkins was hired to film the laying for the first time. He obtained the best sequences during the laying of the second, third, fourth, 12th, 13th and 14th eggs, and the best approach glide of the cuckoo to the pipit nest with the laying of the seventh egg. It is remarkable that chance was able to predict so well which nests would be chosen, so that hides could be placed correctly for Hawkins to catch so many layings. The result was an edited film that could show all the stages in wonderful detail. In mid-June 1921, Chance stopped collecting completed host clutches. Without his help to make more nests available, Cuckoo A laid fewer eggs that summer, just 15 in total, 14 in meadow pipit nests and 1 in a tree pipit nest. This showed very neatly that a cuckoo's output on the common was limited more by the availability of host nests than by food to form the eggs. Cuckoo A's fifth and final season in 1922 was, in Chance's own words, an outstanding and historic performance. With human help restored, to make available as many host nests as possible, and including the additional trick of putting out extra artificial nests next to occupied ones, she achieved a total of 25 eggs that summer, all collected by Chance. All were laid in meadow pipit nests, and they involved just 11 pairs of pipits, some having their clutches farmed by Chance several times. Some of these layings were filmed from a hide by a second cameraman engaged by Chance, Oliver Pike, using what for the time was a ultra-rapid film, to illustrate the laying sequence. Guests, too, were invited to watch the egg laying. Chance records that Mrs. Pike got very excited inside the hide, while watching the cuckoo lay, despite the fact that she had had considerable experience of birdwatching. However, not all shared such enthusiasm or patience, and some nodded off in the warmth of the hide during the crucial 10 seconds. Chance published his discoveries in 2 books, The Cuckoo's Secret in 1922 and then an expanded version in 1940, The Truth About the Cuckoo, which recorded the egg-laying exploits of 5 other cuckoos on the common, up to 1930. These 5 females were all meadow pipit specialists, just like Cuckoo A. Chance's meticulous records, from all the cuckoos he followed, totaled 86 eggs, 71 laid in meadow pipit nests, 8 in tree pipit nests, 4 in a yellowhammer nest, and 1 each in the nests of skylark, willow warbler and linnet. His books have black and white photographs by Oliver Pike, so we can see Cuckoo in action, landing by the host nest, leaning in to pick out a host egg, sitting in the nest to lay, backing out, and then flying off with the host egg in her bill. Some of the stills taken from the sign film are small and blurry, and Chance recommends the reader to use a magnifying glass. But these are the remarkable first records of exactly how the cuckoo lays her eggs. Chapter 7 of The Truth About the Cuckoo records, in remarkable and loving detail, the laying of every egg from Cuckoo A's record-breaking performance during the summer of 1922, from her first on 11th of May to her 25th on 29th of June. With just one extra day's break after the second egg, she laid them on alternate days, May 11th, 13th, 16th, 18th, 20th, 22nd, 24th, 26th, 28th, 30th, June 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th, 13th, 15th, 17th, 19th, 21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th and 29th. It is difficult to decide who is more deserving of our admiration, the cuckoo, for keeping track of so many host nests, so she could time the laying of each egg to coincide with the pipit's own egg-laying period, or Chance and his team, for managing to keep up with her. His account of the laying of the sixth egg conveys all the thrills and frustrations of trying to predict which pipit nest the female would choose. May 22nd, present were the Reverend Alan Ellison, the Honorable Guy Charteris, Oliver Pike, the two Simmonses and myself. The expected nest was 3A, but there were other possibilities. At 11 a.m. the cuckoo was watching 6B. For 35 minutes we watched her sit motionless, then she flew away. From 2.15 to 2.45 we sheltered from a heavy thunderstorm in hides. We resumed our vigil at 2.45. Ellison was posted 15 yards from 3A nest and Pike in the sand pit to watch 4A and 5 territories. Charteris, with either Simmons or myself, was guarding the territories of 6A and B6, the nest of the latter not yet found. There was no sign or sound of the cuckoo, but exactly at 4 p.m. Ellison whistled, and on Pike's advice I went over only to realize Ellison had only seen the cuckoo leave the nest. My dear friend admitted having felt sleepy because of the sultry heat. Thus I experienced the annoyance caused by the failure of a privileged guest to rise to the occasion after I had stationed him in the most favorable position. Chance was proud of his season's record from Cuckoo A, though he admitted it was achieved largely as a result of his help by the continuous collection of clutches to restart the pipits. He marveled at the observation skills of the female cuckoo, who obviously had kept an eye on his nest manipulations throughout the summer, so she could take advantage of the extra laying opportunities he arranged for her. Surely nature, unguided, would never provide so many laying opportunities. Chance believed that his record would never be equaled so long as cuckoos continue to lay. However, Chance underestimated the cuckoo's cunning. He knew that cuckoos would sometimes eat whole clutches of host eggs that were too advanced for parasitism, but subsequent studies have shown that this is a regular strategy used by female cuckoos to restart the hosts. In a study from 1970 to 1981 of cuckoos parasitizing marsh warblers, near Hamburg, Germany, Karsten Gardner found that 30% of host nests with completed clutches or young chicks were taken by female cuckoos. In another study of cuckoos parasitizing reed warblers in France, cuckoos laid more than a quarter of their eggs in replacement nests following such predation. Only female cuckoos, not males, plunder host nests, so it is a strategy to increase the availability of host nests, not simply a hungry cuckoo looking for an easy meal. Unwittingly, then, Chance had simply been doing what cuckoos normally do for themselves. The female cuckoo is not only a superb watcher of the host nests in her territory, she is an arch manipulator too, taking clutches to stagger host laying and so maximize her egg-laying opportunities throughout the season. In 1988, a cuckoo studied by Mike Bayliss in Oxfordshire, Central England, equaled Cuckoo A's record without human help. She parasitized a population of 36 pairs of reed warblers, laying 25 eggs in the season and parasitizing 24 of the pairs, one pair twice. Over her 5 seasons on Pound Green Common, Cuckoo A laid 90 eggs, all collected by chance except for the few that hatched before he found them. 87 had been laid in meadow pipit nests, 2 in tree pipit nests and 1 in a skylark nest. They are now beautifully displayed in wooden cabinets in the Natural History Museum at Tring in Hertfordshire, with Chance's neat labels and numbers on each egg in the sequence, a testament to his extraordinary obsession. Cuckoo A paid a price, her 5 long trips across the Sahara to her African winter quarters and back, and 5 summers' work finding all those pipit nests, led to no genetic immortality. But the cuckoo's laying secret, a mystery since the time of Aristotle, was a story told by her eggshells. Her memory endures in those lifeless jewels. Edgar Chance died in 1955 at the age of 74, having amassed a collection of 25,000 bird eggs. Egg collecting from common birds, which included the cuckoo in those days, was not illegal, but Chance collected the eggs of rare, protected species too. In April 1926 he was fined £13 and 10 shillings for unlawfully taking crossbill eggs, and was expelled from the British Ornithologists' Union. He dedicated his second cuckoo book to his daughter, Anne Augusta Cardamon, named after lady's smock, Cardamon pratensis, also called the cuckoo flower because its delicate, pale pink flowers first bloom towards the end of April, at about the time the cuckoo returns to Britain to breed. In June 2008 I made a pilgrimage to Pound Green Common. Some of the landmarks in Chance's 1921 film were still clear, a little hut and the rough track where he drove in with his hide on the back of his motorcar. But, with a decline in sheep grazing, the common had now become overgrown with bracken, silver birch and oak scrub. There were no meadow pipits, just a lone tree pipit singing for a mate from the top of a birch tree. I sat on the edge of the common and imagined Edgar Chance working here 90 years ago in his tweed suit and tie. His careful observations and his brilliant solving, piece by piece, of the cuckoo's secret surely must rank as one of the greatest feats in field ornithology. My mind wandered and then, from the distant pine plantation, I thought I heard a male cuckoo call, just a few times and very faint. I stood, cupped my hands and blew a loud reply, a cuckoo, cuckoo. All was silent and I sat down again. Perhaps I had been fooled by a pilgrim's daydreams. A minute later, however, a cuckoo suddenly appeared, flying fast and low towards me, just over my head. I called again and he circled the common twice, calling a cuckoo and making a low, guttural wow wow, as if in annoyance at the intrusion. Then he perched at the top of a tall birch tree, with his tail held high and his wings drooped, twisting from side to side and calling loudly, without pausing, a cuckoo, cuckoo. I let him call there, unanswered, for a few minutes. Then, apparently satisfied that the intruder had been beaten off, he flew back to the distant plantation. Members of the local Commoners Association plan to clear the bracken and birches, and they hope that with restoration of the lowland heath, with its grassland and heather, both meadow pipits and cuckoos will return. But that day, once the cuckoo had left, I sat alone on a silent common, saluting the memory of Edgar Chance. Page 40.